This is F3 day 1 and we're introducing you to the long I sound where we're putting an E on the end of a short word to make the previous vowel make its long sound. And in all of these words it's the letter I. So rather than saying it as it would if we had bit, we're saying bite because the E is making it make its long sound. Long sound means it's saying its name. So let's see if we can read these words first off. B-I-T, bite. K-I-T, kite, R-I-D, ride, W-I-D, wide, T-I-N, time, M-I-N, mine, L-I-N, line, L-I-K, like, B-I-K, bike, D-I-V, dive. So you can see the E is to the I is coloured in all of these words. You can do that on your own. You also have to remember that if for the K sound to know whether to write a C or a K, we know that if the K sound is followed by an E, an I or a Y, we use a K before it for the K sound. So that's why we've got the K here. We also know that if you have a short word with a long sound, we put a K after the long sound. So that's why like has just the K and bike just has the K, not the CK. CK follows a short vowel sound. Let's have a look at what these words mean now. We've got bite is something when you take a bite of something like an apple. And if we've already done it, we would say I bit the apple. We don't say I bited. We'd say bit for if we've already done it. This is kite. Kite is something you can make and fly in the wind. When you ride a bike or a scooter, we say we are riding. You could even ride a horse. If we've already done it, we don't say rided, we say we rode our bike. Wide means that something is very wide, it's very fat, or there's a long way across it. And the opposite to wide would be thin. And we'll put that in a little box so that you know that it means the opposite. Time, we quite often use a clock to tell the time. If you're having a race, someone might time you, so it could also be a verb. Mine, well, we know that in Australia we have lots of mines where they find gold and iron ore and all sorts of minerals, but mine can also mean something belonging to me, and they're both spelt the same way. This is a line which can be crooked or nice and straight, so this is a wobbly line. Like is something that you enjoy or that you want, so you like something, you're happy with it. A bike is a thing that you can ride. This is a bicycle, bi meaning two wheels. Dive is where you dive into the water and you put your arms out in front of you to protect your head, so you don't make too big a splash and hurt your body. Okay, let's read the words, sound the words, spell the words and write them 3 times. So we go B-I-T, 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 B-I-T-E, B-I-T-E, B-I-T-E. Cover it and then write it. We'll do that 3 times. And the reason we sound the word is because it doesn't matter how old you are, it's easier to spell a word if you can sound it. And the reason we then spell it, we change it back into its letters, is so that you know which representation of the sound you're using in that word. So kite, if you go k-I-T, it's not telling you whether to use a C or a K, but by spelling it, you know you're going to use the K. You can finish all of those on your own. Okay, we've got F3 day 2 and we're revising the long I sound. So we've got the letter I, consonant E, will make the previous vowel make its long sound I. So we've got B-I-T, bite, K-I-T, kite, R-I-D, ride, W-I-D, wide, T-I-M, time, M-I-N, mine, L-I-N, line, L-I-K, like, B-I-K, bike, dive. So there are 12 reasons why we might put an E on the end of a word, and this is the first one you're going to learn. So you can read those words, sound them, spell them, and then cover and write them. That's a pretty easy thing for you to do on your own. We'll just do one. We'll go bite, B-I-T-E, cover it and write it. Now down here you have to write the list word below the picture, so you've got to work out which is the best word for each of those pictures. Then down the bottom you've got write the list word to match the meaning. What's something that belongs to me? What is something go ahead first into the water? Fill in the gaps with the missing list word. So the something is 2 o'clock. The bike is I like to fly I will grab to eat. I like to my a river can be Okay, so you have to use these words to finish off the sentences. Now down here you have to be very careful because we've got a short vowel sound and a long vowel sound in each of these words. So you've got to work out which one goes into which space. Write the correct word to fill in the gap. So we've got it, kit, kite, kite, it, bit, it, bite, it, rid, I'd, ride. So you can read those sentences and work out which word to put in those. Off you go. This is F3, day 3, and we're revising that the E at the end of a word may make the previous vowel long, and in all of these words we've got the letter I, which is making its name sound, I, it's long sound. So we've got bite, bite, kite, kite, I'd, ride, I'd, wide, time, I, mine, I, line, like, bike, dive. So you can go back and highlight the E, making that I make its name sound, its long sound I, in all of those words. And you know that after a long vowel sound we only put a K for the K sound. Now after you've done that you need to read the word, sound the word, spell it, and then copy it or cover it and write it. So we're going to have B-I-T-E, so you cover it and then you write bite. You can do each of those on your own. Comparators and superlatives mean when we compare two things we're talking about which one is more, and when we're doing superlatives we're looking at a super group or a bigger group of things and we're talking about the most. So when we want to say more we add ER, when we want to say the most of something we put EST quite often at the end of a word. So we have wide, wider, widest. If the E is already there, you don't have to add another E. You just have to add the R or the EST. Singular and plural. Singular means one and plural means more than one. So the singular of kites would be kite. The plural of kites would be kites. Bike is the singular, the plural would be bikes. So all you have to do is add the S to the end of it. All of these words here are verbs and they're in their different tenses. First of all you have to find the base word. So bites comes from the word bite. Riding comes from the base word ride. Dives comes from the base word dive. Liking comes from the base word like. So you just have to write the base words here. Here you're adding S to the end of each of them. Here you're adding ing. But something tricky is happening here. If a word ends in E and you want to add ing, the E goes away when ing comes to stay. So if you have a look at, I'm writing bite, B-I-T, I need the E there, but because I'm adding ing, E goes away when ing comes to stay. That little rhyme is probably the best way for you to remember that. So the last one we've got here, we've got past tense of Bite is bit. You can't say I bited or the dog bited the bone. You have to say bit. Ride, the past tense of ride is rode. You can't say I rided my bike. You'd have to say I rode my bike. Dived is a nice easy one. He dived into the swimming pool. Like would be light. Now, because the E is already there, you actually just have to add the D. So you'd write the base word and then just add the D because the E is already there. Combine with a list word, so you've got to use these words at the top to work out how to finish these off. So it would be day, time, motorbike. And you can finish those ones on your own, so they're all coming from up here. Proofreading, you've got to decide which word is correct and then write it on the line. Don't get tricked because the letters may be out of order, like in that one. That one's definitely wrong. Here you've got to make new words. If we write ride and we add an R to the end of it, we've got rider. So sometimes when we have ER at the end of a word, it tells us someone who. So someone who can ride a bike is a rider. Someone who can ride a horse is a horse rider, etc. So you can add those R's to the end of those base words. Off you go. This is F3, day 4, and we're looking at possessive pronouns. So pronouns are words that you can use instead of someone's name. So you could say, it says read and fill in the gaps. That is my house or that is mine house. I think it will be that is my house sounds better. So that would be the pronoun that we have to write in that space. So the words, the pronouns for you to choose from are under each space. So you can highlight it and then write it into the space. It's quite easy to do. Finish the sentences with these possessive pronouns. So that we're saying these ones show possession. So we're saying what something belongs to, who it belongs to. Is it mine, theirs, ours, or yours? This pencil is mine, not yours. That ball is theirs, not ours. So you can have different pairs of them too. His and your. I didn't have a rubber, so Ben lent me his or your. I know this is his or your pen, but may I use it? Okay, so you can finish off those sentences down here with these words that are darker in bold font, and up here you've got the words underneath each line to help you.